Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 162 today, last installment of the year. This will be our last episode of 2024, and it is also our last and final episode of our craftiest time of the year, as it ends today as our 8th installment of this little vlog series that we've been doing about trying to get all the things that we wanted to get done before 2024 ended, and to just kind of celebrate what we feel is our most intense, craftiest time of the year, where it feels like there's such a need to get things created and out into the world.
Yeah.
We're the most inspired, in my opinion, time of the year, where I feel like I'm constantly like, ooh, I can make this for somebody, I can make this for somebody. Like, I feel like I'm the most inspired at this point of the year.
Not only inspired, but the deadlines certainly helped me this time.
Yeah, I know. It's just like you all of a sudden are super productive. Like, you just get stuff done.
Yeah, because what I'm going to show you, I got done yesterday because I knew that I wanted to show it today.
Yep.
So, I am going to, I should have had this up. I worked on the owl. Okay. So, this turned out so good, I think. Look at that! We got an owl, and I put safety eyes on it. Sarah does this all the time. She told me where to go in Joann's to get them. I got the brown, just like the picture showed, and I was able to get some embroidery done on this. On the feet, I used a piece of wire, and I wound the string around it, and then I glued the ends, and then I glued the feet onto the log or the branch. So it is so good. I was squealing last night when I got this done. It was just like, oh yes. It made me so happy to have a project come together like this, from developing it on paper to final project. Took me a week.
And here's the thing, not saying that you can't be just done right here, but some of the little bit of extra definitions that you had in the drawing, like some of the shading stuff, can happen post-production. It's like there's a sense of like, you get this layer done, and it's like the first set of what could become a much more rigorous enhancification of this, what's going to be an amazing wall hanging.
Right. You know, I could contour the face, and I could outline the wings.
It looks good as it is.
Right.
I'm just saying that doesn't have to be something you stress about in this sort of part of the project. Because I know that was kind of a thing that you were struggling with before, the idea of doing so many multiple versions of color changes inside of the mosaic, when it just did not feel like that was doable.
Right. And so, and figuring out how to color change for the moon and all that kind of stuff was different for me too. And then, so I would like to do that. Contour the face, make the outlines for the wings, and put a back on this so that I can hang it on the wall.
I think this is going to look so
super, super good.
I love this.
I love the tweed. The tweed did work for the owl very well.
That was so smart.
Yeah. So, it's good.
If we ever, could you imagine if there was a place where you could make your own yarn for the day? Like, just kind of like have this whole craft shop.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking, because there's places that do the whole shear the sheep, harvest the wool, wash it, and then, spin it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like color matching and things like this where we get to name it.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like you would call that barn owl.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't be tweed, it'd be barn owl.
Yeah.
Or barn owl tweed.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that, because I love brands that are very creative, like with the ice cream yarns that, it's either the Lime brand or Burnett's that did it, but that line, so cool. Love that line.
In Joann's, by the doll section, is Park Lane Animal Eyes.
Safety eyes.
Safety eyes.
Yeah, you make
There's
them what
four
you want.
four pieces in this, 2 sets of eyes, and it's 15 millimeter. That's the size that I got. I had no problem getting it on here. But I know that if you're going to make amigurumi, it may be a little bit tougher to get your fingers up inside the toy or whatever, so there is tools for that. I didn't have that problem. Mine was just, a back and a front. So I wanted to show you the other set and what it looked like. You have the eye, you have the screw, and then you have this little plastic cap, and it is contoured, and
It's
you
domed.
just, and then you just put them together.
It locks on almost kind of like in the
Yes.
same way as a zip tie. Like it has the same shape as a zip tie and how it locks, but it almost looks like you're putting an earring on. If you've ever just put a regular earring on, it's that same
But there's a little piece on the corkscrew that locks it on there so that it's not going to come off if a child was to play with it.
Yeah.
And so it's a very good device, and it really shaped up this owl well.
And there's some people who, if they don't have the backing, they use like a crafting glue and they stick it on the underside post / the back of the eye, and they stick it into the project and they hold it till it dries, and that's how they put it in too.
And I also used 3-in-1 Beacon craft glue. I'm thinking it's almost like Fabri-Tac. It's the Beacon 3-in-1 glue. It's very good glue. I don't even buy any other glue anymore, and it worked on the yarn very well. It was almost like having a hot glue gun, but without the hot. You just put it on there, you set it on there, and it set. And I was just like, wow, that worked really good. So I'm really glad to get that done. Now, I have a list here. I wanted to recap my year of 2024.
You guys watched it. I don't have to do that.
And so what I did was I wrote it down. All year long I have been writing a list down and of what I've done. And so I made 12 blankets, 3 scrubbies, 2 shawls.
Mommy, I didn't see this right.
Olivia.
Sorry about that. My granddaughter had to tell her mommy something. 1 cotton dishcloth, 3 pumpkins, 1 hat, 1 bookmark, and 1 wall hanging, that owl. So altogether, I made 24 things in 2024. So 24 and 24. And that wasn't on purpose. That just worked out the math this morning when I was figuring this out. So it's all really, really fun. So what you missed is I made 24 and 24. It came out perfectly in the math. I wasn't trying for that or anything. It just worked out that way.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, that's my recap of this year. And what have you gotten done this week?
Just to let you know, my daughter was coming out so excitedly because she didn't realize I had given her dessert in her snack box when I gave. So she was coming out being like, "I found this," and I was like, "Yeah, I gave it to you." So apologize for that.
That's okay.
Well, this week I've been working on Christmas gifts, and I have completed the dodo bird.
Isn't it cute?
He is done. He has his wings. He has his tail feathers. He has his bobacious, honker. And his legs. His little poofy legs. So, I'm really proud of him. I really think that he will be very much loved and enjoyed. And I'm very excited about sharing him with... He's going to the same nephew as I gave the Godzilla, for any of you OG followers that know what I'm talking about.
The boy loves his dinosaurs.
He loves his extinct animals.
Yes.
So his brother, my other nephew, will be receiving a Luigi. I have to make that in the next 24 hours. It's simple. No complaints here. I have the head and the nose done. That's it. Everything else I have things to do. So it's amazing that I'm going to get anything done at all.
Hey, it's all good.
But anyway, I'm going to get that done, so that's going to be what I focus on hardcore. After this, I'll be getting all of my yarns figured out and fully commit. You guys have seen me make this Luigi. It is from someone who posts, I believe, on Ravelry. I've shared her name before on our channel. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but if I remember, I'll share it later. But this project is my son's project. So as I've shared with you, I've made a bird for my daughter. I'm trying to be quiet because she's here. And I showed you that last week. Now with this, I was thinking about making a socks from Bluey, but I've changed directions because I wanted to make something that was less predictable. I will make him a Bluey, but there's a sense of I want it to be something that still speaks to his interests and shows that mommy cared, and without him thinking that I just didn't care. Because here's the thing, my son asked for balls for Christmas.
Yes.
He wants soccer balls, basketballs, any sort of
Baseball.
baseballs. He wants balls. So I'm making him a Pokeball. I just realized that that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But here's the thing, it's not just a Pokeball. It will have a Pokemon inside. It is a reversible pattern where you have the Pokeball, you unzip it, and it can flip out to being the Pokemon on the inside, and when you zip that seam up, it'll be in the color of the Pokemon. So now it's the Pokemon on the outside. When you want to undo it, you unzip, reflip, and now it's the ball.
Yeah.
I know that it should make sense. I do believe I've said that concisely.
Oh, yeah.
But it is not done yet. I am in the middle of getting it done. To be fair, the Pokeball is done, and it's obviously a little concave because there's nothing inside of it, but I'm trying to fan it out. It is a completed Pokeball that has a zipper on its black seam, on what you would consider its equator seam. And what's going to happen is I've been making a Charizard. And this guy, I have limbs already made for him. They're in this bag. I have his legs and his arms done and his shoulders. I have to make his wings and his tail. When it's completed, there's an open seam right here that is where I'm going to be putting the orange zipper. And we're going to be putting wrong sides together. And we're going to then sew the seams together where they line up, and then when one right side is out, the other right side is tucked on the inside. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to create this interactive Pokemon toy experience. And my son's been getting really into Pokemon, and I am so grateful to have found this pattern. And this is a free pattern. Amazingly enough, there's this creator named the Nerd Gremlin. She, I don't know if it's a he or she or whatever. I don't know, but it is. I found them on TikTok. I saw the video on Facebook, found them on TikTok, and was able to find their pattern through a link on there. They have an account on Ravelry, and they offer free patterns. And I was able to pick up the Charizard, but they have Gengar, they have a whole bunch of other Pokemon in the same vein, and I plan to make more than just one at this point because I'm really impressed by this pattern. Well written. For a free pattern, this is a very well articulated pattern. I'm having very little, like, as long as I'm paying attention, because there's a lot of color changes and there's a lot of shaping, and they need you to switch between two different size hooks sometimes, and you have to be very mindful to pay attention to those things. But if you just follow along, you're not going to have any problem.
Right.
Like, seriously, no problem. This has been an amazing journey. Like, this project is really fun, and I'm super excited to see Daniel's reaction.
Yeah.
Because he loves the interactive toys I've made in the past. And I really think that this one's going to surprise him because he didn't ask for it, but he's been wanting a Pokemon and he wants balls. So I feel like it's really fun that I'm able to merge the two together.
It's so fun.
And I think the funniest thing is last week, we all just had gotten out of school, and I needed to go get some of the supplies, and Joann's is this big sale going on right now. And my husband's like, sorry kids, Mom needs to go to Joann's, so we're all going. Because originally I was just going to have them all get dropped off and I was just going to head out, but he just made us all go for a ride. And Daniel's just sitting here being like, I want to go home. Why does Mom need more yarn? Why do we need to go to Joann's? And I'm like, actually, it's for your project. Well, I don't know what it is, but do we have to do it right now? And I was just like, I felt bad, but at the same time, I found it really comical because it's just him just being like unaware that this is going to be a really cool toy. But
he knows it's going to be really cool because he's seen you work before.
But yeah, so this is from the Nerd Gremlin on Ravelry. Amazing creator, amazing pattern designer. I have adjusted some of the pieces because I love the design. No criticism to the creator. As someone who's been making Argurumi for a long time, I make my own adjustments where I want to because I have an image as to how I want the projects to be flush and look like. So, therefore, I have my natural adjustments that I make. So, I have made those, and it's just kind of like, instead of going from a magic circle and going out and making a limb, I find that's much easier to attach a limb when it's an open-ended hole already, instead of making a magic circle coming out and then making this tube. I'm like, okay, they want it to be a circumference will eventually, and the magic circle will eventually get to 12 single crochets. I'll just chain like 9, attach, and then put 12 into that. Yeah. Into the big circle that I've just chained and made, and so it's like a ring, and then I go from there because it's easier to sew on, and then you don't have this lump on the inside that you're trying to work with, and it's easier to stuff, in my opinion. But it's those small changes. I'm still doing what they want, but I'm making my own adjustments that are not that significant, but I just find work better for me and how I like the project to turn out because of how I've.
And that works.
So I have to take care of my son real quick while you go on to the quote for the last episode of the year.
Yeah. So this one says, the best of all gifts around any Christmas tree, the presence of a happy family all wrapped up in each other. And that's said by Burton Hillis. The best of all gifts around any Christmas tree, the presence of a happy family all wrapped up in each other. And we hope that you guys have had a wonderful Christmas. At this point, it's the Monday before Christmas. But we are hoping that you have an amazing Christmas with your family, wrapped up in all the love and laughter and good food and, you know, all the gifts and whatever, all the giving of the year. We hope that everything is just perfect and lighthearted and gay and having a good old time. So,
You following that song?
yeah, just having a good time. But
Yeah, no, for sure. I would definitely say that I have, as especially becoming a mom and having grown up to be able to know what a healthy family is and being able to see strong families that celebrate very well, as I've been able to recognize how to value what a good Christmas looks like. Because, you know, we all have had that experience where it's stressful and it's not fun. And you realize that Christmas is a time that is meant to not be forced.
yeah,
There are things that sometimes maybe you have to do a little bit extra work on, but you already know it's going to be worth it, even if it's going to be hard. I don't think anyone should have to force a smile on Christmas
right.
if they can help it. It is supposed to be a time of year where gathering around the Christmas tree is supposed to be welcomed and natural and celebrated. And I hope that everyone that is watching today will have that opportunity this Christmas 2024.
Yes.
So from our family to yours,
Yes.
we wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. We will see you in the new year,
Yes.
and we will hopefully have more to show with a plan for 2025. And, you know, we enjoy making these videos, but we have to admit that they would mean nothing without you,
Yes.
those that watch, and take the time to just be a part of it.
You're our gift
So, as always, we hope that you stitch your way
to mental health.